Hi. So most people don't realize this, but inflammation doesn't start with pain. That may be what you think you feel first, but it starts in much more subtle ways. Before the flare, fatigue, or even your antibodies go up, your body sends these early warning signs. And so today I'm going to tell you how to recognize these messages and what you can do to respond before they get even worse. So comment and let me know if you've noticed inflammation or symptoms of inflammation just kind of sneak up on you. I know for me, in the past, it really has. I'll just wake up one morning and can't get out of bed, those kind of things. So I am Jen. If you don't know me, I'm a whole food plant-based culinary coach, a health educator, and I'm someone who's lived with inflammation for years. I was diagnosed with an autoimmune disease back in 2007. When I didn't even know anything was wrong. The doctor did some testing and said, surprise. And you can find out more about my story about how I was trying to trick my husband and ended up getting a diagnosis like this. Anyway, so I've lived it. Autoimmune disease and inflammation from autoimmune diseases doesn't come just out of the blue. It's not one day you're healthy, the next day you have an autoimmune disease. The inflammation occurs and it builds up slowly. It can be really quiet, hardly any symptoms at all. And then all of a sudden you have these really strange symptoms. Maybe your doctor says you're just getting older, or people say, get used to it. That's what aging's like. And that's not really the truth. The better you get at recognizing early warning signs, the faster you can support your body naturally and get a good handle on it and even reverse the inflammation. So inflammation is not an enemy. I've talked about this in other videos before. We have to have inflammation. If you cut your hand or break your arm, you want inflammation. You want blood to rush to the area. You want all the things that are needed, the nutrients to come in to help repair and heal the body. That's what's supposed to happen with inflammation. What we don't want is for it to be chronic, for it to be happening day after day after day. If you got up and banged your knee on your bedside table every single morning, eventually it's going to break through the skin, your knee's going to be bleeding, and it's never going to heal because you won't stop banging your knee. Well, that's what goes on in our body, but we ignore the symptoms until it's already damaged, sometimes beyond repair. Hopefully we can catch it before it's beyond repair. But we want to listen for these little signs that say something's irritating me. Like right now, a hair is itching my nose. That's not inflammation, but we want anything that's just kind of irritating you. Your body's saying, hey, I need some attention. Hey, something's out of balance. You need to be giving me some attention. And so it's not inflammation that's the problem, is when it's going on over and over and over. Your body gets stuck in this loop and it can't shut any of those signals off. So that's where food, taking care of our gut, watching our blood sugar, managing our stress, and our hormones are all involved. So we need to tune in and make sure we're paying attention to all of those things. So most people only notice inflammation when there's pain, when there's joint pain or swelling, when they have stomach pains or migraines. So for me, I had migraines forever until maybe 10, 12 years ago. I had no idea that could be related to inflammation. Luckily, knock on wood, I haven't had one since. And so that's incredible to go from, several every month to completely going away. But those little things that we don't even relate to inflammation, they are causing other pains in our body, and we just don't put it all together. So our body is signaling before we get to those points. If you're feeling puffy or swollen in the morning, I know I'll get puffy eyes if I'm going into a flare. I'll get a sty on my eye. More anxious or irritable, little things are just bothering you. Maybe you notice your stomach's bloating more. Maybe you have faster digestion today or slower digestion today. Maybe you have these random cravings for foods that you don't normally eat. Maybe you can't sleep through the night, or your sleep isn't just normal right now, or you just feel off and there's no real obvious reason. All of those are little signs that there's something going on we need to pay attention to. And you want to pay attention to it now while it's something that's just kind of little minor before it turns into something that is so much worse. And if you've ever been like that, like I have, you definitely want to prevent those bad days, right? So those small signs, they can really matter because they can add up really fast. Before I understood inflammation, I really missed those signs. I really had no idea that irritability, anxiety, waking up at 3 a.m., feeling hot and not being able to cool off. I had a beet red face. I would have it for hours and hours. I could not cool off. I had random bloating. I had weird cravings, and I would fly over the handle over the littlest things. I could just totally go berserk. And I had no idea that all those were related to inflammation. Those were all symptoms of Graves' disease, which was what my first diagnosis was back in 2007. I would brush it off. I thought it was just my personality because there are other family members that had the same thing. And I didn't realize that there's a genetic component to Graves' disease and it can all be related. So now, whenever I notice those little things, I go, hey, what's going on? What do I need to be going on? And I'm paying attention to. And I'm going to tell you some little things that you can do because the earlier we respond, the easier it is to get everything under control and the easier it is to halt the inflammation, reverse what's going on, and get the body back under control. So the biggest reasons inflammation starts to build are blood sugar swings. And here we are, we're in blood sugar season. It starts around Halloween in October here in the US. Think about that. Sugar at Halloween, sugar at Thanksgiving, and then it's holiday parties through Hanukkah, Christmas, and New Year's, right? Just sugar season. Is there any coincidence between sugar season and flu season, right? Then we're around different people not normally around. We're in crowded buses or trains or planes or whatever, but it's all around blood sugar season as well. Anytime we have those blood sugar spikes or crashes, that triggers an inflammatory response. So if you do it today and you don't have anything that messes up your blood sugar for the next week or so, that one little thing maybe isn't going to cause any problems for you. If you already have inflammation going on in the body, that one little thing might be the one thing that tips you over. If it's something that happens every day, day in and day out, that's creating lots of underlying inflammation. And that not only is leading to inflammation for autoimmune disease, that's leading to inflammation for diabetes, leading for inflammation towards heart disease and things like that. So we want to get the blood sugar under control. So pay attention to blood sugar. Watching your sugar, but watching, are you eating balanced meals? Stress before meals. What are you doing while you eat? Are you stressed out? Are you eating while you're busy working at your computer? Are you eating while you're playing a video game or something on your phone? Are you eating while you're in angry? I had family members that would argue, not growing up. They would sit at the dinner table, and start arguing with each other. It was like just, I don't know if it was a habit or what, but I would have to get up and walk away because I cannot eat in that kind of environment, and nobody should. You have a baby crying or having a fit at the table, remove them from the table. A child, they start getting upset, angry about something, remove them from the table. They can go to their room, and when they're ready to calm down and come back out and eat, then they can come back and out and eat. But we don't need to be in that kind of environment. We don't need to be stressed. We need to be relaxed. Digestion happens in a relaxed state. So make sure you're not stressed before you eat. Make sure you're not stressed while you're eating. Poor sleep. One bad night can raise inflammation. And so really prioritizing sleep. Slow detox. When your liver is overloaded, inflammation increases to compensate for that. So making sure that we're doing things to nourish the liver and focusing on foods that the liver loves. Gut imbalances. If your microbiome is out of balance, then that can increase immune reactivity. So not eating enough variety or fiber. Hidden food triggers. Do you know what your food triggers are? For me, it was gluten, and they would tell me gluten, and I'd go off gluten, and nothing would change. And it wasn't until I gave up gluten for 4 whole months that my numbers started to change. And so don't dismiss it until you've eliminated it for a long time. So for me, it's peanuts, it's corn, and it's gluten. And so those are really, really difficult ones to eliminate when you start reading food labels, which is my number one rule. But you need to figure out what are your food triggers, because it could just be a food that is aggravating your inflammation. So remember, inflammation is cumulative. It's not something that happens all of a sudden. Now, you can have a really sudden inflammatory response if you break your arm or cut your hand or something like that. But if it's something like an autoimmune flare, that is from an accumulation. So what do I tell clients to do? Number one, hydrate, hydrate, hydrate. Drinking water, having some lemon water first thing in the morning, having herbal teas, whatever you can do, water-rich foods to keep your body well hydrated. Eat the rainbow. That's number two. That's my number two rule for everything. Eat the rainbow, eat the rainbow, eat the rainbow. Have different colors at every meal. A colorful meal looks appetizing. It adds polyphenols from berries, from greens, from cruciferous vegetables. Excuse me. These are all natural anti-inflammatories and so wonderful for us to eat. If you are having an inflammatory response, cut out the sugar for at least 48 to 72 hours. Do a 5-day reset. Many of you have already done my 5-day resets. Do one of those. Cut the sugar out for 5 days. Give your blood sugar system a reset. Eliminate food triggers, things like that. Just give your whole body those 5 days to rest and recover. Add in bitter foods, arugula, dandelion, lemon, those bitter greens that are in the salad mixes, ginger, even lemon. All of those can help the liver. They help the liver detox. They help with bioflow. They help with breaking down fats. They help with bloating and digestion. They're wonderful for helping with inflammation. And relax. Whatever works for you to calm your mind and restore your body. Relaxation moves, meditation, journaling, walking in nature, laying in the sun, doing qigong. That's my go-to. Whatever you need to do to calm your body, because stress creates an inflammatory response. We need to do deep belly breaths, breathing deep into the belly, nice, long, and slow. Releasing very slow, slowing down, calming the body. I already said prioritizing sleep, but also eating at consistent times. That helps with blood sugar. That also helps with other things involved in keeping inflammation under control. So pay attention to those little tiny signals. Learn to recognize them so that you can stop them in their tracks. Do the things. Eat the rainbow, get your sleep, watch your blood sugar, relax, and find the calm. If you feel off and you don't know why, if inflammation seems to be coming out of nowhere, this is your chance to respond sooner and support your body with food and routines and structure that your body needs. Inside my membership group, the Culinary Healing Circle, this is what we do every week. We learn to listen to our body and respond appropriately. We learn to cook whole food, plant-based foods. We had Q&As and open coaching and weekly qigong. I said coaching. Yes, I am from the South. And many, many, many other things. So I comment if you're ready to catch inflammation before it gets out of control. Inflammation starts low and slow, and your body is always listening. So make sure that you're learning to listen to those cues. This is your chance to learn how to listen to your body and prevent any storms, any flares that are about to come up. Remember, home cooking can create change. Early awareness protects your peace. Share this with someone that you know that could need some support before their next flare. I love working with people with a history of autoimmune disease who are looking for natural ways to reverse it and restore their body back to energy. So check out culinaryhealingcircle.com. That is my membership group, and I will see you again next week.